Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube live session, where we're in conversation with the Dean of one of India's most prestigious B schools, TAPMI Management Institute. We have Professor Aditya M. Jadhav and the Chairperson of Admissions, Professor Aniruddha Chatterjee with us. So the Director, Professor Madhu Veeraraghavan, unfortunately could not join us this session, but hopefully he will be joining us in future sessions to come. So in this session, we'll be providing an overview on TAPMI's BBA Honors Program, following which we will also have a Q&A session with the parents and students in the audience, and whatever queries or questions they may have, we will hopefully answer those questions as well. So a quick round of introductions across the table. So my name is Shweta Chodavarpu. I'm the product manager at 2IIM, and I've completed my MBA from IIT Madras. So today we are also, as I mentioned, joined by the Dean of TAPMI, Professor Aditya M. Jadhav. So Aditya Mohan Jadhav is currently the Professor of Finance at TAPMI Management Institute, Mahe, Manipal. He joined TAPMI in March 2014 and has completed around 8 years in TAPMI. His last role in TAPMI was as the HOD for the Accounting, Economics and Finance area. He has teaching experience of more than 12 years and industry experience of around 2 years. So prior to joining TAPMI, he worked in ICFAI, while he also got his PhD. We also have Professor Aniruddha Chatterjee, and he is a PhD from Macquarie University, and he also has a fellowship from XLRI. Right. So now that we've completed the introduction, sir, can we just kick off this session, and can you provide us an overview about TAPMI and TAPMI's BBA Honors Program?
Yeah, thank you, Shweta. Thanks for having us here. Yeah. It's a great day. I always like to engage with students, and thanks for providing this opportunity. As you all know, that TAPMI, or rather the TAPMI Management Institute, also well known as TAPMI Manipal, is one of the top 20 leading B schools in this country. We are almost a 40-year-old institution. I should say more than 40 years old institution. We were established in 1980, and it's now almost 42 years. We have been a really top-notch institute in the last 42 years. We had a fantastic placement run. We are well known for our academic rigor. We have a double crown accreditation with both the US accreditation of AACSB and UK accreditation of AMBA. In the country right now, there are only 6 B schools which can claim this double crown accreditation, and we are one of them. There are only 2 B schools in this country with triple crown accreditation. That is, I am Calcutta and I am Indore. So TAPMI is known for its MBA, and it is established in Manipal. We are now proposing to start, or rather we are commencing the BBA Honors Program. So it's a 4-year undergrad program. It's not a 3-year undergrad program. I would like to clarify to all the students, it's a serious, rigorous 4-year undergrad program aimed to provide you fantastic careers. That's the objective of this program in very simple terms, and to ensure that students really benefit of whatever we are doing, especially in terms of industry engagement. This program has been established in Bangalore. We could have established it in Manipal. We have a 44.2 acres campus in Manipal, where we could have easily established this campus also. But we thought the best place for the students to really learn management would be a place which is really happening in terms of management. And the most happening place today is Bangalore, with all its startups and the culture or entrepreneurship culture that's really budding up. And hence we decided to set up it in Bangalore. Right. In Bangalore, we have it as a part of the Manipal Academy of Higher Education off campus. So the Manipal, also well known as Manipal University. So the Manipal group is setting up the Mahe off campus at Yelahanka. It's a 126-acre campus with 10 schools being established there, mostly interdisciplinary. So we have the engineering school, the MIT, we have the TAPMI's BBA Honors Program, we have the law school, and we will have a school of design, we have the school of European, I think, social studies. These are a few schools at Department of Commerce. So there will be a total School of Allied Health Sciences. So there will be in total 10 schools in that campus. TAPMI is one of them. The best part of this place is also that the Manipal group is setting up a Center for Entrepreneurship Development, which is known as MILES, which will be headed by entrepreneurship directors at Infosys, Raghupati Kawale, and the other one we are identifying soon. and they will play a very important role in all these programs, especially they are integrated very closely with the BBA Honors Program. So entrepreneurship is going to be one of the biggest strengths of this program, if you really ask me.
Sure. Great. Thank you so much for the information, sir. So let us now segue into the Q&A session of this particular thing. So firstly, could you maybe give us, shed some light on how completing a BBA can provide a path to MBA?
Okay, first and foremost, exactly what we are advising against. Okay,
Right.
Shweta. We have a very clear take, right?
Okay.
And I will come to you based on what we actually have experienced, right? We have been into the MBA education for the last 40 years, and I myself have been in almost 12-13 years in this role, and I've been doing interviews for MBA selection for the last 12-13 years. One of the key things I've seen is, on an average, CAT would have something like 2 lakh aspirants.
Correct.
And if you cover up all the aspirants, including other CETs and other entrance exams, IPMAT, CMAT, all of them, you're basically looking at something like around 7 to 8 lakh aspirants that appear for MBA entrance every year.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. If you look at the population of this pool, right, almost 70% are basically from the non-engineering background, that is BA, BSc, BCom, BBA students.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you shift to the other side, you look at the pool that gets selected in the top 20 B schools in this country, whether it's IMA, SP, Gen, to TAPMI, to Symbiosis, Nursing, whichever school you take, you will find the shift is quite different. Almost 70% of those who get selected are engineers.
Right.
So what happens? Why is it that even though the applicant pool has such strong component or such strong population of from these non-engineering bachelors, why is it that the selection is biased towards engineers? Now, a lot of people said, no, CAT is basically biased towards engineers, but that's not correct. That's actually a wrong way to look at it, because most of these engineers who get through in these various schools are people with prior work experience, right? So you will see a trend where an engineer completes his engineering, works for around 3 years, and then based on his experience decides to move into a management cadre. Whereas the whole idea of today, if someone is trying to do a BBA or a BCom, is that, okay, I'm in my 3rd year of BBA, I should start preparing for CAT, because I have to for the CAT next year and then crack it. And the worst part of this whole approach, and I'm sorry to say that, but this is really disheartening, is students who have got 95, 96 percentile in CAT do not crack the best schools today, because they get sidelined when it comes to the interview process, when it comes to work experience. On an average, work experience has 20 to 25% weightage across many B schools. Right. So a fresher is basically fighting for 75 to 80 marks. And an experienced guy is actually at 100 marks, right? And that 20% difference, 20 marks difference itself is taking the cake, right? And that is the crux that we thought was wrong. That if an engineer, right, could have an opportunity, good career opportunity after doing his graduation, why can't a management grad have the same thing? Right? And that is what we want to basically address. And we are not only addressing it for TAPMI, we want to actually showcase it to everyone that it is possible for even an undergrad program in management to have really good career opportunities. And that itself should basically act as an indicator for many other schools to look at that. Right. I have seen some school, I will not take name, where the whole USP of that school is that we'll start training you for CAT from the 2nd year of your undergrad. So then what is he doing in this 3 years that he is with the undergraduate school? Correct. So if you really ask me, we are not preparing you for an MBA. We are preparing you for a career. We want to ensure that if you want to do an MBA, it is a choice. Absolutely. It's not a compulsion. It's not a desperation. You will not be desperate to do an MBA. You will have a career path, And if and when you think that, okay, now MBA will really add me value and push me to the next level, is when you should be able to, you should say, okay, I'll go and do it.
Sure.
It's not like, okay, if I don't do an MBA, I don't have anything else to do.
Correct.
That I'm again clarifying it through you. We are here to make careers. We are not here to prepare you for an MBA.
Sure.
That is not what is the objective of TAPMI BBA Honors Program. So it's a 4-year program for that reason.
Right, right. Sure. Thank you, sir. Now, can you maybe give us, shed some light on the placement assistance that is provided? I understand that there's also a 3-year exit option alongside pursuing the 4-year BBA honors aspect of it. So what would be the placement assistance provided for the 3-year program and the 4-year program?
Okay. So this comes from the structure of the program itself. First and foremost, I would like to articulate to all, right? We have established this campus in Bangalore, right? But it is still TAPMI. The parent campus at Manipal and Bangalore are integrated. The director is same, the admissions chair is same, the operational deans from both the places might be different, but then the placement team is same, right? So our placement in charge, Professor Surya Mahadevan or Professor Sudhir Reddy, both of them come with a serious placement or rather industrial experience. Sudhir has around 20 years of experience in an investment banking division. Professor Surya has been into retail and marketing for the last 27 years, right? He retired as a director of some of the of Aircel, right? So they will basically be handling or supporting on the career placements for both BBA as well as MBA. We are very clear on that, right? Placement support is done, is given. There is no question on that. Now, how basically we are not, if you really ask me, placement is not the direct objective of this, right? Again, I told you our objective is careers. Now, how do we ensure careers are developed? So the program is designed in such a manner that the industry engagement or corporate engagement is a core of this program. It is woven into this program, and it is woven into through 3 aspects. First, every course will have an element where a corporate industry specialist will come and engage with the students, right? We are basically looking at least 10 to 15% of the course in the initial years, and as electives, the proportion will increase, will be delivered by an industry specialist. TAPMI has more than 6,000 alumni, and we are going to exploit them for this purpose. We are going to invite them. They are across various industries in various roles. So that is not going to be a challenge for us. Second thing, what we have basically decided to do is that from 2nd semester onwards itself, every student will actually get engaged in a live project with the company or an industry. This will continue for, so basically they will actually do 4 live projects, semester 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So that itself is going to also ensure that they understand what are the expectations from the industry and prepare well. Third is, at the end of every year, there is an internship. Okay, so for someone who wants to exit at the end of 3 years with a BBA degree, there will be a placement season in semester 6. He would have completed 2 internships. Now, someone who is going to do the honors here will basically have completed 3 internships and would have a much higher level of understanding and would also have a placement season in semester 8. The objective of both these placement seasons, the type of roles and target aspects will be different, so that we will ensure that happens. So we will ensure that everyone, if you really ask me, Shweta, they say, right, the crux of the game, or rather the value of my program would be if I am able to ensure that all my students get placed through PPO.
Right.
There would never be a need to do a placement.
Correct.
And that's why our focus is more on internships than on placements. I want to have really good internships for the students rather than worry about placements.
Absolutely.
And do it from the first year itself. No compromise on that front.
Great. So could you maybe tell us a little bit about the eligibility criteria for the program? Would the students be required to write any entrance exams such as IPMAT or JIPMAT, or what is the eligibility criteria?
So there are 2 eligibility criteria, right? So students should at least have 60% in their 12th and 10th and 12th, right? And I think today everyone gets 60%. Okay, the government can actually increase the passing marks to 60 today, and still everyone will pass, right? I see people get 90%, 95% like this only.
Yeah.
Right? Just walk out, and 100% students is what I'm seeing today. So that's really extra. But we are sticking to 60% because we find a lot of variety of students actually are what we are looking for. Right?
Yeah.
We are looking for smart guys. I'm very clear. Okay. Someone need not be extremely intelligent. Okay. But someone should be smart. The guy whom we are selecting should be smart, right? And should be interested in the management education. I would like to clarify. When we say interested in management education, he should be really looking at management as a career. Okay, and to ensure that, we are basically looking at a series of entrance scores. So we have actually evaluated which entrance exams make sense for a BBA program, and we have come out with 6 or rather 7, right? So we are not only taking IPMAT Indore, actually a really good entrance exam if you ask me, but we are comfortable with I think Ranchi and Indore have the same IPMAT, so that is one. Then GIPMAT is what the second one is also acceptable. We are even acceptable the IPMAT Rohtak, right? We are accepting JEE because we found many components of JEE actually are something that we are looking for as an BBA aspirant. Then we are even ready to take CLAT, the law, because entrance exams are almost similar.
Right.
So even the law entrance exam we are ready to take, and we are ready to take MET, which is the Manipal entrance test. Because after all, we are a Manipal group, Manipal University School. We cannot say no to our own entrance exam.
Yeah.
So, and the last one we were really interested in CUET, but we are still not sure when the exam will get over, when the results will come and others. So this year we are not engaging with CUET, but next year we'll certainly engage. Sure. One of the key things we want to be very clear with this, we are looking at an entrance exam as an indication of your interest in this process, okay, in the program. We do not believe, if you really ask me, we do not believe that one standardized entrance test conducted on a single day in the whole year can decide your intelligence. What happens if you're not well that day? You have a stomachache. So does it decide that, okay, you are an idiot? That doesn't work out, right? Absolutely. So that's why we are saying, and that's why we were not interested to have our own entrance exam, because we also did not want to burden on our students, saying that, okay, you take one more entrance exam. And how many entrance exams should a student take?
Right.
Confused a lot today because of this entrance exam. So we are ready to take any of these courses.
Yeah.
And unless you have performed terribly bad, okay, this year at least we will not be penalizing students for their performance in any of these entrance exams, because the entrance exams have got terribly delayed, sorry to say. SAT as well. So Anirudh has given the 7th one, SAT as well.
Right.
So we have 7 entrance exams. You can take any one of them, and that's enough for us. Then our real crux of selection is on the micro presentation and the interview. Sure. Okay. Yeah. And I would sorry. Now please understand, the micro presentation topics are already available on our website. So anyone who wants to check out and prepare for the interview can go to our website, check the micro presentation topics. They are so general that no one can prepare for it. I can clearly explain you that, right? For example, one of my favorite topics is everything good about life is chemistry.
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, so they can decide what do I want to say. What are we looking at there? We are looking at your presence of mind, what you can think in those 2 minutes and actually logically present something.
Right.
So none of these topics are really looking into depth of your knowledge or something. We are, again, I'm telling you, looking at the presence of mind, right? And then this is followed by an interview process, right? In the interview process, we are basically first and foremost not testing you on your general knowledge. Okay, what are we trying to do in this interview process? We are trying to check out whether we are the right fit for you and whether you are the right fit for us.
Sure. Yeah.
So the whole interview process is designed on those terms, that whether we are really aligned to each other in terms of, because ultimately the student is going to give 4 years to us and we are going to take efforts on him on 4 years. You don't want the guy after 1 or 2 years say that, okay, this was the worst decision I ever made. I have people calling me and saying, I'm in my first year of engineering. I think this is the worst decision I've made. So directly join the second year. I said, I have not yet started the second year of the program, so I can't admit you, right? Yeah. Second, no interview questions on subject knowledge of class 11th and 12th.
Okay.
Right? Because that's not the objective. You can be from science, arts, any background. Who are we to test, right? And anyway, we are going to look at your 12th standard marks and 10th standard marks. What else should we do?
Right.
So again, I'm telling you, it's basically about a fit. Whether we fit each other is the objective of the interview. And we also use the interview to clarify doubts of the parents as well as kids.
Right.
So it's not only us asking questions. Our interview process gives an opportunity for the kids, and we know many times the kids are accompanied by their parents.
Right.
It's an online process for the parents also to clarify their doubts. We are completely open to that.
Sure, sure. Great, thank you. That was a holistic perspective on the eligibility criteria. Could you also take us through the admission process? What is the process?
Admission process. You apply.
Yeah.
Last date for application is July 20th.
Right.
We had the application deadline till June 30th, but then we found again the IPMAT results, the expected delay and all, and we had a lot of requests coming in. So we have extended it to July 20th, right? You simply apply. Once you are applied, within a week, you are informed on your interview date and time. Sure. It's an online process. You have the micro presentation and the interview conducted. Sure. Once your result for any of the entrance tests, you already have the result, fantastic. If it's not, any of the entrance tests, one of the results come, you have to just upload those details, right? And based on your interview and this whole thing, we generally send if we have selected, so we have a clear-cut 3 lists, accepted, waitlisted, rejected. We inform everyone of the result. Everyone will get informed of the result within 3 days. And in case you are selected, you can join us. If you're waitlisted, what we are basically saying is we would also like to see your entrance exam scores, because the panel has some doubts. So we'll wait for that. That's it. And if you're rejected, well, we find rejection is not about, we are not saying the candidate is bad. We would like to clarify. We are only, basically the panel feels that the candidate may not fit into the type of culture and the type of structure of the program that we are envisaging. So that is the only thing.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Could you maybe talk a little bit more about the international immersion experience that will be provided to the students? So
the international immersion program at TAPMI is basically an objective of, or rather an objective to introduce you to the international systems. So what generally happens when you are studying at a school level, you are engaging with the corporates at India, you are basically looking at the systems that are pan-India, right? Basically, many of these systems are basically India-based. Right. Okay. So what we want the students to understand is an understanding of what's happening at the rural level, at micro level, the Indian level, and the global level. So in the first year, we actually have a village immersion program, rural immersion program, where we intend to take students to a village, right? Except their hold alls, they will not carry anything. The village will provide them with the food and everything. They will stay in a village school. They will understand the problems at the village level. Okay. Understand, after all, 60% of my client is in villages. Every corporate guy says that. How many actually have a solution to those problems? Correct. Right. Yeah. Then anyway, the classes are running. So it's end of second year, that is semester 4. We intend to take every student whoever has a valid passport and whose visa is not denied, right? We will take them to Dubai, and we will showcase. We have a lot. More than 100 alumni across UAE and Saudi and other places. and they help us connect with a lot of companies. So these companies is what we'll take them, we'll show them, we'll explain them how global supply chains work, because understand Dubai and Singapore today are the hubs of both finance and supply chain for the whole of Asia, Africa, and Southeast Asia.
Correct. Yeah.
Food cities actually are ruling the whole of this portion, right? So in Dubai, because we have a strong alumni network, we go there, we take them, we showcase, we take them to companies. They will see how the companies are working, how international supply chains are designed, what are the issues being faced, how cultural differences are handled, all those aspects. So it goes for over a week. They come back. It's a graded component. Please understand. They have to come. They have to make a diary. They have to make presentations to various people. They will have to make presentations when they are at the companies in Dubai. So they have to go prepared there. And right questions can be asked. They will be, and they get evaluated for that.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much, sir. Now let us look to the audience for certain questions. If you can just give me a moment, I'll just check
sure.
the chat. Yeah. So one student asks if they score a certain number in one exam score, one entrance exam, and if they score a better number in the other entrance exam, will the better number be considered?
Yes.
So one student wants to know, how would you compare the placements of the BBA Honors Program as compared to the MBA program?
MBA program is a different one. BBA Honors Program is a different one. You can't compare apples to oranges, is what we are very clear, right? We are an undergrad program. You should compare our objective with that of the undergrad programs that are already existing, right? You can't compare an undergrad with a postgrad.
Right.
It's never going to work out. So that's a very wrong placement. See, again, we would like to explain. We never said don't do an MBA. MBA, if you think MBA is going to add value to you, please go and do it. Yeah. Our whole contention is, today when someone wants to complete a BBA or a BCom and is not doing a chartered accountancy, is basically at loss. He says, okay, if I don't do an MBA, what will I do? Correct. How many BBAs today can stand up and say, okay, I've done my BBA, I don't want to do an MBA right now, let me go and join my business or start my business, or let me find a good job and I would like to work, right? Not many actually. When we interview, we find that they are basically not getting jobs. They are not valued in the market.
Right, right. Yep.
We are trying to change that. We are certainly looking at good placements for these guys. Okay. Yep. Certainly. Yep. And we are saying that, okay, we will not only look at placements. It's not the first job. We are basically looking at a career path and good career path in the company. And for that, we have identified 12 competencies, which we know are very important today in this world. And those 12 competencies are what will make the difference for us, right? It's not about the degree, right? And we are sure that 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, when the guy feels he wants to do an MBA, he would be in a position to do MBA from the best schools in the world. I'm not only talking best schools in India.
Right.
Yes, that is what is the objective of this program. So I would never compare placements from BBA, Honors and MBA. No one has stopped them from doing an MBA. Masters is Masters, Bachelor's is Bachelor, right? We are only saying Masters should not be a compulsion.
Correct.
When does a BBA start his job? If you really ask me, he does 3 years of BBA. Then he spends 1 year for preparing for CAT. If he gets into really good schools, fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But then we have seen this skewness is towards engineers.
Yeah.
Right? Then he goes to an MBA. If he is not that lucky, he goes to a mediocre MBA school. He spends another 2 years doing an MBA. Yeah. Today, mediocre MBA school takes 12 to 14 lakhs as your fee.
Yeah.
6 years, right? A huge amount of fee. Yeah. 6 years of your life. And then you are starting your job, and the starting job is that again of a management training.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. That is what we are basically trying to address.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So one student says, this is the first time I'm hearing about a 4-year BBA. What is the thought process behind this?
Yeah. So it's not the first time someone has designed a 4-year BBA.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You go to internationally, you go to US, you go to Australia, any of these countries where an undergrad Understand? And undergrad is self-sufficient for a job or a career. You will find whether it's engineering, whether it's medicine. Medicine has 1 year of internship. So medicine becomes 5 years. So leave the medicine out. Whether it's engineering, whether it's arts, whether it's science, and whether it's management. Everything is always 4 years.
Right.
It is never 3 years. Right? And there is a reason why it is 4 years. The 4th year basically is to hone your skills to the highest level. So what have we designed the program as? I would like to explain you the design structure of the program. The first year we are looking at basic social foundations, right? So except the course in 2 courses in accounting, right? And 2 courses in economics, right? All other courses in the first year focus on non-management areas. So we have a large dose of liberal arts. We have courses like anthropology. We have courses like psychology. We have courses like culture and context. We have courses like science and nature, courses in design thinking, creative writing, professional writing, literature.
Right.
Right. These are what will happen in the first year. We have a strong course in ethics almost throughout the first year. We want to ensure that they have a very strong ethical background before they go. Once they have finished that first year, they actually go for a social internship. We will put them, and this is what we will be identifying the internships for them. We will put them to the last mile where they will actually see what's happening on the ground. How poverty is impacting people, how hunger is impacting people. They should be able to understand the problems that society faces. Once that is done and they have an understanding of society, because ultimately what is management? Management is a skill set to solve problems plaguing the society. If you're not identified the social problems, what are you solving?
Correct.
Right? Today's people who have solved a social problem, right, are the ones who are most successful.
Yeah.
Right? Then they go for management. Then the second year is all about foundations of management. So they will learn all the management courses, whether it's marketing, finance, HR, strategy, whatever are the courses to be covered, they will get covered in the second year, and again they go for a corporate internship.
Okay. Okay.
Right? In the third year, we have 9 elective streams.
Okay.
Right? They are available on our website. So they pick up any of those elective streams. They can choose 2 of them. They can either major or minor in them, or they can have an equal splitting, double majors type of thing. And then they basically complete the 3 years of BD. If they want to exit at the 3rd year, they can exit.
Okay.
If we continue with the 4th year, honors year structure is slightly different. It is a track-based structure.
Okay.
Student will have to choose either of the 3 tracks. So the first track is advanced specialization. The whole idea of advanced specialization is out of the 2 elective streams that you would have chosen in the 3rd year, they will take one of it. Understand? And do a series of courses that generally they would have done in any second year of an MBA if they had done a normal MBA.
Right.
So these courses, basically, we are trying to skill them completely for a corporate job. So that's advanced specialization, end of which we have a placement season. And or who knows, they will have 3 internships. 3rd internship is between the 3rd year and 4th year, right? And we are trying to design it in a completely different manner. Right, it's more an executive assistant type of approach for that internship, so they understand the decision-making process very clearly. So what we really hope, and that is what I look forward to, is many of these getting PPOs by the end of this 3rd internship. And based on the PPOs, they should be able to choose where they want to do an advanced specialization, specialize in it, and then, move ahead, right? Then, 4 years also, like Anirudh has said, helps when applies for a higher education abroad, because generally everywhere else, it's the 16 year of education that is necessary, not the 15 years, right? Second stream is basically research track. So someone who says, no, I want to do PhD. And there are people who say, okay, I would like to do research and PhD. Basically, we'll get into this track where they will only work on a research project, come out with a 10,000 word thesis, which should be publishable as a proper research, peer-reviewed research paper. Okay. The reason we are looking at this is When someone has a peer-reviewed research paper as an undergrad, they will find it very easy to get into top-notch PhD programs across the world because they would already have an understanding of the research process. So the PhD programs actually look forward to people who have this type of approach. So we are trying to make it easier for them to crack it there, and we'll help them even in their application and other things. The third track is entrepreneurship track. So in partnership with what I told you, the incubation center at Manipal, if someone wants to get into entrepreneurship, he can get into this incubation center in the fourth year. By the end of fourth year, they should come out with a full-fledged business plan or prototype. They will also make presentations to group of investors or group of specialists. If the prototype or business plan works out fantastic, then they will move into the incubation center that is being set up by Manipal.
Okay.
Another year or two till they get the funding. Now let's assume this doesn't work. They spend the whole year. Okay, but this doesn't work. Entrepreneurship need not necessarily be always successful.
Yeah.
Right? These guys will then be supported by us by including them back into the placement season even after graduating. Let's assume someone spends 3 years. So graduation plus 2 years is what we are ready to give them timeline. At the end of 2 years, he says, sir, things are not working and I don't know what to do. We'll say, okay, come back, because I'm telling you today companies are really looking for such people who have taken.
And
they will be valued more.
Correct.
And we will support them. We will not leave them hanging. That is what. So in the fourth year, they have to choose one of these 3 tracks.
Okay. Great. The robust course structure is quite different and actually seems like.
I would like to, one of the other things that we are very clear on, that each student will actually study one foreign language over the first 2 years.
Okay.
This will be certification based. That means we'll partner with these international bodies available in Bangalore. So these all things are possible because we are in Bangalore.
Right.
That's what the whole idea. Understand is, again, I told you, the end point is a good career path for a student.
Yes.
And that's why it's a rigorous program. Okay, Shweta. That is one thing because a lot of students basically think BBA is okay, fun, prolific, right? Something that is shown in movies. This is not a program for such people. Here you will have to work really hard. Okay. Something generally you can see in Chetan Bhadagat's books in of MBA. It will be equally hard for in the BBA Honors program itself.
Sure. Yeah, it seems like a rigorous program, but it makes students really industry ready and gives them a lot of exposure. So
yes.
So I have one more question. So Sunil Kumar Sharma asks, will MBA be 1 year or 2 year program after BBA Honors?
No, it will be a 2 year only. MBA, see, first and foremost, I will again like to impress upon the students, it is a really bad idea to do MBA just after your undergrad. Okay, whatever. And second thing, we have a lot of students who have this whole wrong idea in their mind that, okay, I'll finish my education and start working. Okay, that doesn't happen. Those days are over. Those days got over with my age. Okay, and my generation. Those days are over. I have an associate dean joining me, who is a naval commander.
Right.
After retiring from Navy, the guy has finished his PhD and is joining the academics. Right. Education today is not going to, so on the contrary, today education is based on where you want to go. You will have to reskill and continuously upskill yourself. Correct. It cannot be, okay, I did my MBA 20 years back, I don't need to study anymore. Those days are over. Similarly, that's why I always say, complete your undergrad, work for 2 to 3 years, get that experience. I'll tell you, very basic, simple. It's basic, right? If you go to management, there are 2 things that happen in an MBA program. Okay? First, there is discussion of management processes, and there is decision-making aspect, right? A fresher, when he joins an MBA program, spends most of his time learning management processes. Okay, whatever he might say, I will do peer learning this time. It's ultimately, he's spending time in understanding management processes because he has not spent time in a business. He does not get much time to do his decision-making side, own decision-making side. A guy with experience when he joins an MBA actually can jump to the decision-making side very fast. That's why internationally, masters in management programs are allowed for freshers, but an MBA, you require at least 5 years of work experience.
Correct, correct.
Yeah. So that's why if you want to do an MBA after BBA Honors, work for a few years and then decide which type of MBA you want to do.
Okay.
Executive MBA of 1 year or a regular MBA of 2 years, completely up to them.
Great, great. Okay, sure. So I have one more question.
Yeah.
This from Madhav Bala. So he asks, can I get admission from Common University Entrance Test, that is CUET scores?
Okay. I have no objection to that, but when is the score expected to come out? You have any idea about it, Shweta?
I'm not entirely sure.
Very clear, our program is starting on 1st September. If Mr. Madhav can share his UET scores, he can apply, he can participate in the interview process like I told. I can give him a provisional admission as well if he makes the cut in the interview process and all. But remember, he needs to ensure that a CUET score is submitted before 1st of September because my classes will start on 1st September. Right. And understand, we had a really bad experience with NEET some 12, 14 years back when it was first introduced. If someone goes back and really checks what happened at that time, the medical first years, right, started in the month of February of the next year. Okay, the first year started in February. Think of it. The guys had completed their exams in March. 12th exams in March. In those days, it was not COVID, so exams would get over in time. Then even the NEET, then there were a series of cases filed against NEET and all. And by the time the process got over and the classes started, it was next February.
Okay.
Right. We are a little skeptical that if such a situation happens with CUET as well. Right. Otherwise, we have no issues if to consider CUET scores as well. So Mr. Madhav is free to look at it from that angle.
Sure. Thank you. So we have another question. A few enthusiastic students, they're asking, how can a student maximize their chances of getting through the BBA Honors Program, like getting an admission?
Apply. Again, I am telling you, apply. The whole idea is a good fit, right? Nothing else.
Correct.
If we have a good fit and our panel finds that, okay, you can really benefit. See, it's not even us. We are basically trying to find out if the said candidate can really benefit out of our program.
Correct.
If he can benefit out of program, fantastic. So that is the whole logic. There is nothing. It's not about marks. It's not about grades. It's basically a good fit.
Correct. Yeah.
And again, Shweta, this is not something what we have created. Okay? The SOP process that you have to go through when you apply internationally for an undergrad, postgrad, or a PhD program, what are they trying? They're just trying to look whether you are a good fit for their university or not. Right? And SOP is what makes the clinches for any good candidate internationally. We are basically looking at the same angle.
Sure. Great. So that about wraps it up from our Q&A end. So we've answered a lot of the questions, and I hope that the students and the parents who are in the session have gained a lot of value from it. I guess as a closing statement, I just kind of want to ask you any final pieces of advice for the students who are planning on applying, or anything else that you want to address to the students.
See, I would always suggest the students, and what I have always suggested, right? Make a conscious, informed effort. Right. After all, undergrad forms a base of your whole career, right? And you are spending something most formative years of your life. 3 to 4 years in this period. Whether you join my program or you join any other program, I would only advise them, make a conscious, informed effort, is that whether the time that you will spend in that institute for the next 3 to 4 years would really add that value to you, add those skills to you, which will take you a long way. After all, these 4 years will not come back again.
Sure. Thank you so much.
To apply, please, July 30th is the last date for our applications.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Professor Thank you, Professor Jadhav. Thank you, Professor Chatterjee. It has been a great session. It was very insightful, and I hope that all the audience members also derived a lot of insights from it. So folks, please do check out their website and check out their offerings. You can also watch this live stream later on. And if you have any particular questions that you are in query of, you have any other doubts that you want answered, you can drop them in the comment section below, and we will be happy to help you out even later on, right? So thank you so much for being a part of this session. Thank you. We'll be ending the session now.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, sure.
And thanks to IIM.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Shweta.
Thank you, sir.